Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of this series. Today, I have Rahul with me. He's an amazing product designer, and we'll be diving into giving our opinions on the Nothing OS 3. It's new updates, new things. The typography has been changed apparently. So, let's take a look. Let's see what we have got. How's it going, Rahul?
Yeah, everything is going great, and I'm really excited to review what changed in
Yes.
Nothing OS. Nothing itself is a different brand. Like Carl previously worked in
Yes.
OnePlus, and now he's bringing something new in like as of innovation
Mhm.
in mobile design. So
Yes.
let's
This
review
will be
it.
super
Let's
fun
see
for
how
us.
things
We have
goes.
a nice little presentation that we'll go through. So, Nothing OS 3, it's a perspective from a strategist and a branding designer and a product designer. So, that'll check out lots of fun things. All right. So, Carl had tweeted this, which is a snapshot. You wanted some opinions on the redesign. What was your first reaction when you saw this tweet?
I've been following Nothing for since
Hmm.
some time. So what they are doing as of design, as of marketing. Carl, we know that he's a marketing
Right.
guy, and he's bringing all his ideas and everything from a built-in public, like
Hmm. Hmm.
community-driven thing. So when he shared about this, everyone was excited. As you can see, there are a lot
Right.
of
Right.
views, and everyone was just posting their ideas, like what it
Hmm.
could look like. Even on, if we see on Nothing side, there is a community
Hmm.
page where everyone can share their opinions, like how
Hmm.
it could be. And even in the real video, they have shown that they have taken some inspiration
Right.
from others. So it basically makes people who are buying Nothing phones as a part of
Yes.
some community, which we see in Apple
That is pretty
ecosystem.
unique.
So yeah,
I always consider Nothing's positioning as the Apple of the Android, and that checks out that community feature, that being design-led community feature, all these things really new in this technology space, we can say, and so it's really fun that a young founder is doing it. Alrighty, two screens
yeah, true.
left is Nothing OS 2.6, and the right one is Nothing OS 3. Already, I can see some changes. Looks cleaner, and yeah, you tell me, how do you like it?
Yeah, so my first impression was, so if you see the
Hmm.
previous one, the
Right.
wallpaper, the normal things, apart from the
Hmm.
dot font, it simply resembles any Android
True.
phone. If we see Pixel, Samsung, so apart from the font, everything
Hmm.
was same. It doesn't have any
Right.
uniqueness. But now what we are seeing in 3.0 is they have made some changes, which we can see in the placement of touch
Hmm.
icon and camera icon. They are bringing those
Hmm.
two down, which makes the equal distance between the bezel in the top and
Mm.
bottom
Right, right.
bezels. And if we can see that the fingerprint scanner, the
Hmm.
circle, is also a little bit
Yes.
bigger and it
It's
been
lifted up. Yeah.
misaligned, or we can see lifted up. So it doesn't, what we can
Like
see, like
haptic wise,
it doesn't belongs to
right, right.
those other
Haptic
two
wise, I think
icons.
it fits much better, right? Because if it's a phone and my finger is here, my finger placement here is normal and it goes in a triangular way in terms of normalcy, right? So this, and these points are better.
Hmm.
So that's really thoughtful. And I think they have a new array of widgets as well, which is this clock and many others.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, okay, we're on the widgets already. What do you say? I feel the newer one is much more cleaner. It's much, of course, I mean, they have much cleaner serif, sans serif. Is it serif? It's almost serif, but it's a sans serif font. So font wise, typeface choice wise, it's pretty unique in a way. And great backgrounds, white blocks. They're following the bento, but as you can see that the icons has been enlarged, and there's a small ticker to tell you if it's analog, if it's digital. Interesting.
Yeah, so here what we can see is previously in the 2.6, their major goal was to
Yes,
fill the
fit a lot
screen,
in.
show all the widgets which are available. Yeah. But now what we are seeing is they want to apply and
Hmm.
also show it. So they have used bottom sheet to show the widgets, and at the top they can place, like the user
Nice.
can place instead of just clicking and then going on to home screen and
Hmm.
then dragging it. Like they've minimalized the
Hmm.
steps. They have made it simple, so in the half screen, they are able to see the widgets, and in the other half, they are
Interesting.
able to
Hmm.
put in the
Super
widgets.
interesting.
That's the part.
Moving on to this one, again, simplicity, right? They don't, for example, these icons
Yeah.
of the airplane mode, the Wi-Fi, the internet, these are pretty common, unique icons for us now, so they don't have to kind of mention it or write it. So in 2.6, as we can see, the home, GPay, internet, torch, they didn't have to write a torch or a home, but they have, because that was their design system. That was the, as we were saying, kind of the fuller look, lots of bentos covering the entire screen. But in the 3, in Model 3, they're using simpler icons, lesser space, so more negative space to breathe, good space utilization. I love that widget, that nothing year one, year A. That looks really good with the charging. They can show the charging as well, the left and the right, and it's good product visualization as well. So good direction, you would say, right?
Yeah, true. If we like deep dive into it, if you see in the left side in the 2.6, we can see the dot font is represented in the time
Yes.
format at the top. And what it makes is at the right above the battery percentage, it seems
Hmm.
empty. Now what they have done is at the top where we can see the punch hole
Hmm.
camera. So they have removed everything at
Right.
that angle and below it they have added it. So that's the first thing. Second thing is in the 2.6, we can see there are two sections. One is a darker one, another one is a lighter one. But in the new one, we can see it's total one thing. So users are not visually differentiated, but they are giving a unique and similar experience that we have seen in the previous screens.
Yeah.
So
Makes
that's
sense.
there.
It reduces, cognitive load, going from a dark screen to a light screen continuously. So that's a good iteration on the three. Also, the swipe up thing, you can swipe up on the devices, the Bluetooth devices.
The
Hmm.
dots, they are showing the dots even that what others are
Would you
possible.
say,
We generally see that in
right?
image
Would you
scrolls
say
and
it would
all.
have been better in the horizontal way?
I have seen some of the concepts
Hmm.
of that, but I think this it would be
Hmm.
better because up
Right.
and
It's
down
difficult on that
motion
part of the
also
phone.
closes the yeah, it's difficult. Plus, they might mistakenly
That's
close the
possible.
whole
Hmm.
notification panel. So I don't know, like
Maybe.
maybe
Maybe
that
something to
would be
think of.
better. Yeah.
Interesting. The entire typeface has gotten away with it. That's the thing. I think they just loved the end dot font, the typeface, and they just run with it. In the first iterations, it was plastered everywhere. That looked cool, not gonna lie. But yes, now they're working more on their typography layouts as well. Right? Again, better space utilization. They didn't need cards, two square cards in that space. They could fit in both of them with the product visualized as well. And then the apps, the notifs, the battery storage, all of those in one section. So it's sectionalized well. Pretty good. Divided well. Mhm.
Yeah, one more thing that I see here in previous there was
Right.
no
The profile
profile
icon on the
icon
top.
at the top.
Hmm.
In the new one we have a
Interesting.
profile icon. Plus one more thing that I felt as a designer is the dot font at the initial when they have launched they want to
Right.
be unique. They want to do something that
Hmm.
no one is doing. So they come up with that. But later when I was watching the video, the designer
Hmm.
in their team had mentioned that dot font in general was harder for the
Yes.
people who are disabled who are not able to
Hmm.
recognize it because it's dotted. There's some
It's not
gaps are there,
accessible even for
but
us.
that is solved with another
Right.
font. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
something new. That's true. Like for the younger generation,
Yeah.
for young
Something fun.
people, it's very attractive. But for the longer audience, for the broader audience, it
True.
becomes difficult. I think that's the main reason that they kept the dotted stuff for the widgets for
Hmm.
animation, and the for the font they have went with
And
the
we see
sans
that as
serif
well, right?
font.
Better
Yeah.
legibility, better space utilization as well. Because with the end dot font, they had to be of a specific size for it to be legible enough, at least legible enough, so that they can ship it as a product. Interesting. Was this article
Yeah.
helpful? That part
So
again,
here,
really good space utilization. I think they're going for that mainly. Just clearing out the screen. Previously, it was too full.
clearing out and plus visually, you will be able to click on
Right.
dislike or like with your only
Hmm.
single thumb that you previously mentioned in
Right.
the
Right.
home screen. Plus, as we can see here, they use sans serif only for
Hmm.
the headings,
Hmm.
for the titles. For other fonts, they have went with normal, I think, enter or
Hmm.
some other font. So that's a second major thing that they have changed. It basically, as you mentioned, it improves the
Hmm.
accessibility and makes the user
Yeah.
interface much better.
And specifically as like a positioning thing as well, for them a serif font for the headings work. I mean, it's not luxury, so to say, but it's positioned as an upper tier phone, right? And upper tier brand as well.
Yeah, it
It
gives a
breeds a
premium
premium feel,
feel.
so the serif thing works.
Premium feel.
Interesting. Lock screen.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, to be honest, the home screen still feels a bit clutterish. The whites are just too heavy on the eyes. Maybe a transparent glass thing could have worked, but that's them. They they don't want to leave the bento structure, and it works.
Yeah. So the thing that they are looking at, like the Carl, when he
Hmm.
was using it, they went with the white layer of widgets. but I have seen in the community many people are
Hmm.
customizing it in a darker
Interesting.
mode, which blends with the wallpaper. Here it was just a
Hmm.
first glimpse, so
Interesting.
yeah, it's totally like something how Apple is
Hmm.
doing right now. They have given feasibility of people to change the contrast of colors of icons that they have on their screens. So I think here nothing is also going on that
Hmm.
direction.
Same thing, the home screen that we looked at, the lock screen rather. Hmm.
So here we can see the
Hmm.
loading screen. So that has the two inspirations, which I think is first how
Hmm.
Apple does it. Apple keeps the logo in between, and it shines, it dims, it
Hmm.
shines like that. But here they went with dot loading thing. And next, when we see a
Hmm.
circle with arrow, that clearly
The
defines
swiping action. Yeah.
find my app. Yeah, swipe
Hmm.
or click, like a directly take
Hmm.
an action, which is very prominent on that
Hmm.
itself. And here the
Hmm.
hello written is also in sans serif. So in overall OS, the headings where they
It's
were
in serif,
in
yeah.
dotted, they went with sans serif.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. This is also superbly new concept, I think, for a lot of young product designers of our times. I don't think we print our the screens. It's not something that's common. It's not a common practice.
Mm.
Interesting.
Yeah, even in my
Mhm.
job, most of the time I just show Figma
Mhm.
prototypes in Figma. If possible, I give them the device, open it on Figma, and then they
Mhm.
experience it. But here, what these guys are doing is they have printed all the stuff they have visually
Mhm.
on paper. I think for explaining in person, this is very
Mhm.
good practice.
Even, yeah,
Like when I will meet my team, when
it
I will
kind of
go for
helps you,
yeah,
relax your eyes off of the screen for a second and actually just look at the screen from the perspective of just a screen and not a digital thing in like abstract digital thing. It kind of makes it more tangible to look at. That's fun. Hmm. Fingerprint
yeah,
animation, charging animation. Yeah. So they're using the dot matrix pattern that they have created. They're using it really sophisticatedly now because now it's pretty much associated with nothing. They have built that that design system. It's pretty famous now. People know it, and so yeah, they have kind of lowered
yeah.
down that usage.
It also gives the
Yeah.
minimal sign of
Hmm.
product. Like they are going minimal plus
Right.
premium. I think that they are positioning themselves as premium mobiles because they have a low budget one. I think recently it launched, I think something called
Hmm.
CMF something phone they have released. That's a very low budget and it's very colorful, but that doesn't goes into the
Right.
primary
It's a
market.
it's a differentiated product. It's a different brand altogether, I guess, but
Yeah,
logically a sub brand. But it's
yeah.
positioned completely different. Consumer target segments are different. Wallpapers. Hmm. Interesting. These are really interesting ones.
So what do you think about
I'm
this?
sure these have
Like
some
this
stories.
comes in really
Hmm.
brand.
I'm
Yeah.
sure these have some specific
What do you
stories
think? Like,
because even this, all of these are pretty abstract, but I'm sure they will have some sort of, you'll convert them into binary or something, and that'll read as nothing. Something they will have some story. I'm not sure, but it looks cool.
yeah,
Hmm.
I'm expecting that. Like, if there are some smaller hidden
Mhm.
details or
Should be.
Easter eggs, later they can use in their marketing or something like others. When I seen this, when I have a
Mhm.
first glimpse, the boxing thing, the box
Mhm.
which comes up, I felt like it's a
Mhm.
periodic
This
table.
one,
Like
yeah,
they're just showing all the elements, yeah, all the elements, like what went into
possibly.
maybe
Mhm.
building the
Yeah,
product, possibly. And then we have the
the first
gradients
one might
which
be an
resembles
the first one might be
galaxy
an
on
electric circuit or something.
yeah electric circuits and maybe the inside of
Possibly.
chip something which
Interesting.
resembles
And they
itself.
have used the transparency, the glass effect. They have used the glass morphism plates really well, even on wallpaper. So I like that they're keeping it understated. They're keeping it minimal.
Yeah, here we can see the editing
Mhm.
part, like how to change the wallpaper.
Mhm.
So it's same as how we have in Android and even in iOS also. They have same structure, same layout of changing it.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Lovely.
that's in it. And next we can see that when they are
Mhm.
editing, they can
Mhm.
swipe the timer to change different
Right.
looks.
It's pretty tokenized in that way. For they are optimizing for customization.
Mm. But I think that the done
Mhm.
button, they should be that should be go in the
Right.
bottom because that's very far to click.
Okay, so they have specific homages.
Mm.
The London Underground station. Interesting. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Yeah, that was something
It's a
unique.
new brand. It's a new age startup, so to say. So they will have some fun things to say for sure.
What what the designer mentioned was they want to have something on the
Hmm.
phone that resembles their
Hmm.
headquarter. So this interface, the boxy interface which they are showing in a subway
Hmm.
station or some station, it resembles
They are
London
based out of London.
as their
Hmm.
headquarter. Yeah. So that headquarters stuff is inside the
Hmm.
phone. That doesn't, I don't see any resemblance like that in Apple. Apple doesn't have anything that resembles they are from like designed from
Hmm.
California. But here they are going one step
Right,
further,
right.
like designing widgets, taking real
Hmm.
inspirations from what
Hmm.
around them, like what they are seeing around them, which we see in marketing ads and all. Whenever nothing is doing any ad campaign or anything, they resemble their device with some
Hmm.
animal.
True.
It could be dragonfly, it
There
could
was a
be
frog, yellow
frog,
frog,
some other.
octopus.
Yeah, yeah, octopus. So they're going very in
That's the
different
thing.
manner,
Like I
like
believe,
resembling some
even for
animals.
Carl, if someday he comes on the podcast, that will be a dream. But even without that, if I'll have to kind of take a guess, it's a big guess, but I'm sure he's inspired by Steve Jobs and the way Apple handled design in a tech first world. And so with this, he's design focused, but he's not design focused the way Apple is. Their positioning is Apple ish in a way, in the Android market specifically. But their approach to design, it's a bit like how you can say it's a big stretch of an example, but how Kanye West kind of married shoes into nature. Those naturalistic lines, simplistic fibers, simplistic materials. It's similar. Use of animals in your marketing, collaterals, these things like the subway station. So pretty inspired from, you can say, real world stuff from nature in a way. And that's that's I think an interesting
Yeah.
place to look forward to, as in what more things come up from the.
Yeah, even Apple, if I see when they
Hmm.
started, they're doing branding, they went for
Hmm.
creators like Einstein, like people who dare to change something. Like it was totally for people who are into something. If we see Apple Watch Ultra is totally for the people who go extreme
Yes.
in doing activities, doing physical activities. Normal user will never be able to get value from that product. It's totally for centric for extremists, like even MacBook Pro or iPhone 16, all the things that they are showing, it's for pro people, like directors. So what they resembles is a creators or someone who is going extreme for one use case. In the same manner, nothing is going with the simplicity,
Someone
minimal,
who doesn't,
colorfulness.
shy away
They
from
all,
standing out basically. This is fun. The pin
yeah.
apps, smart drawer.
That's what makes
Hmm.
Carl
Right.
different. Yeah,
Even in
even in
OnePlus.
OnePlus, when OnePlus was released, that was really
Uh-huh.
game changing, the design itself. But that was more into hardware, the hardware shell at the back, which we when we hold it, it curves out. But now what they're doing is into the software. Yeah, widgets. So here, when they are showing the
Hmm.
Figma file, so there everyone's design was embedded, like everyone's design was pasted there and they reviewed it. So here we can see the
Hmm.
horizontal
Right, right, right.
swipe.
Got it.
So initially they thought of having a horizontal swipe, then they maybe switched to
Hmm.
vertical one.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
So here it's directly showing like what we have seen in the second or
Hmm.
third screen. Like half screen is to hold and bring it up and add it, like customization, and as also showing what widget they
In
are
terms of
adding in.
interactions, yes.
What do you think
In
about
terms of
this one?
interactions, they
Yeah,
are,
the pin apps and smart
yeah,
drawer.
they're doing new stuff, which is always good. Doesn't matter if it's extremely, like path breaking or not. At times it's not. But if you continue to take the leap of just innovating something, just help making sure the users feel better using your product every time a bit more, just every time, just a bit more. That works. That's what I think brands are missing. Lots of tech brands are missing nowadays. I love these widgets always.
Yeah,
It's a design system that nothing has pretty much, you can say, made famous. I love how
yeah.
minimal the widgets are.
So this widget reminds me of sand time. I think what
Like a
it
sand
called
clock.
sandbox or something.
Hmm.
Sand clock, like a this shape, but they have changed that shape into
Hmm.
something else, like a rounded, so
Like a
softer
tech sand clock.
touch. Text and clock and the
Hmm.
calendar. This one is a very unique, like shared
Hmm.
widgets. Like two people can have a widget showing what they are
Hmm.
doing. Like even Carl also mentioned that he want to try out so that to how it feels like without going on WhatsApp or without going on any
Hmm.
social platform. With only widget, they can see like what other person
Interacting
is
through
doing.
widgets.
So even here we can see, yeah,
That's
interacting
a
through widgets.
pretty bold concept, and yeah, I mean that I'm sure that opens up so many doors. Because
Yeah. So here
majority of
icons.
conversations are possible with it. If you think about it, if you're going on a
Mm.
job and you go with the same partner every day on WhatsApp, what do you say? Coming question mark or up for it question mark, something like that. So you can just send a sticker if you have a common exercise widget, and that conversation is solved.
So here not, what nothing is trying to do, which I presume is they can't make a ecosystem
Hmm.
closed. They have to keep it open because they can't force
Right,
Android,
right, right.
like they can't go with something other OS. So this thing, and there's a shared widget, is not available for other Android
Hmm.
phones. It's only available for nothing to
Nothing. It's
nothing.
it's a nothing always.
Like customization on software, yeah, it's only nothing OS. So here they are starting to make the ecosystem like software
Yes, they're slowly
ecosystem,
building it.
like anyone can join. They can have the feel of Android, they can have the feasibility of Android plus something, some software thing which is unique to nothing. Like if we see Samsung have a easy connect with their
Yes.
tablets like desktop, so they have their own way. Here nothing is doing something which is relative, which can be shared. What they are doing is as the functionality, like people can use their smartphones as their desktop. But here what nothing is trying to do is people can share something which is available only nothing and can be used by other person to be in an ecosystem.
The gallery again, pretty simple, but the grid has been specialized in a way where it's not just a grid. Like some spaces consist of two rectangles, right? It's a pretty what will you say? It's an adaptable grid in a way.
Adaptable plus it's also inspired from Apple, like how
Right.
Apple is doing. One unique thing that I have seen here is the like
Mhm.
icon, which is slightly tilted and is towards the corner, which is shown in the first screen. And plus, they're also bringing AI stuff, which is very
Right.
trendy right now. Everyone is trying to do image generation. Everyone is trying to do all those things. But here, nothing is doing at the background.
Interesting. 26 minutes of just having fun talking about nothing, and that's their power. It's a new startup. It's a
Yeah,
new fun startup. All the best to Carl, and let's hope they keep doing amazing. This was a fun one, Rahul. Have a
yeah.
great time, guys. See you.